Shalom. I want to start off by saying Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham Reka Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth and who rule well. Peace and citations unto the Akim that is spread around the four corners of the earth, spreading this word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. I'm the brother Quatas of Zion, coming back through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai with another lesson, with another video, and Lord willing, this video is edifying. God, so in this lesson, I want to go into the fact that we, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the biblical Israelites, we would be scattered among the heathen. So it's not a strange thing that we would often look like the heathen, because we would mingle ourselves, we would mingle the holy seed with the children of men, meaning with these other nations. So it's not a strange thing that an Israelite would look like a Japanese, that an Israelite would look like a Chinese, or let me keep it to the biblical names, like a Moabite, like an Ammonite, like an Elamite, because we would be in those places. Real quick, let me see, let me go to Isaiah. Was it Isaiah 11 and 11? It shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time. Why the second time? Because the first time he took us out of the land of Egypt. And the second time is going to be that he's going to take us out of the land of Babylon the Great, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, and the rest of the four corners of the earth, because we are dispersed, in this captivity. So that's why it says, Isaiah 11 and 11, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai shall set his hand again for the second time to recover the remnant of his people. Because the first time he did it by way of Moses. Moses led the people out of Egypt, with great plagues and great astonishment. So the Most High let his name be known on this earth. There was no greater exodus, no greater exit out of Egypt than by hand of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai through Moses. And this second exodus is also going to be great. So the Most High is hardening the modern day Pharaoh, which is a so-called white man. He's hardening his heart, and he's making him proud, so that he can have a fight. Because the Most High, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, he likes a good fight, and he wants to let his magnificence be made known. So everybody is looking at the so-called white man like, hey, nobody can take him out of his place, out of his throne. But that's exactly what Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai wants. God. So he's going to set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which is 144,000, and the innumerable multitude, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Petrus, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. You see? So we would be dispersed. Also in the book of Acts 2, in the day of Pentecost, these, devout men, they came from all places of the earth. That's why in Matthew 24, let me just go to the scriptures without roughly paraphrasing it. Let me see. Bear with me for a second. Till 11. This is Acts 2, verse 7. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying to one another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own tongue, wherein we were born? Parthians and Medes and Elamites, you see, for the second time, Elamites. So that's why some of our people, they would look like these so-called Indian people, which their biblical name is Elamites, and the dwellers of Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia, see, Asia, meaning Moab and Ammon, Phrygia and Pamphylia in Egypt and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes, Cretes and Arabians, we do hear them speak in our own tongues, the wonderful works of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. See, so these devout men, they came out of all four corners of the earth to witness the Pentecost. But then the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai came upon the men, the the men that were prophesying there. The Holy Spirit came upon them, and they had cloven tongues upon them, so they started to speak in the foreign languages, in the languages of the men that traveled so many miles and ways to come to Jerusalem. You see? So that's why in Matthew 24, let me see. Bear with me for a second. That's too far. God. This is Matthew 24, verse 14. And this gospel, which gospel goes into good news, of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. Why all nations? Because our people are scattered around all nations. And then shall the end come. Gone. So now that we manifested that our people are all over these other nations, they're scattered. Let's go to the root where it all started in Deuteronomy 28. Verse 64. And it reads, And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. You see, so this is one of the curses that Yahweh Shem Yahushai has put on the children of Israel, because we didn't follow our power with all delightfulness and joy of heart. So the Most High scattered us among all people, among all nations, you see, among the four corners of the earth. And there we started to serve their gods and started to walk in their ways and started to be Gentiles, That's why Yahweh was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The Gentiles that didn't know who they belong to, who they really are. Because our people, they would look like these other nations after a certain time, So they would completely lose their heritage and their for lack of better terms, culture, Let's go to Deuteronomy 4. Salakia. Deuteronomy 4. Verse 27. And Yahweh shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall lead thee. You see? So we would be few in number in all these places that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai would send us onto, you know? That's why we are most despised. We are most disliked. You see? For example, the Berbers. The Berbers are disliked among the Arabians, among the Israelites. Salakia, not Israelites, Ishmaelites. You see? So we are the ones that are highly despised. Let's go to the book of Habakkuk. Habakkuk 1 and 5. And it reads, Behold, ye among the heathen. Who's that ye among the heathen? The Israelites among the heathen. That's who this message is for. Behold, ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days which ye shall not believe, though it be told you. Gone. So that's that strange work, you know. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he's gonna have the second Exodus is gonna be more marvelous than the first one, you know. He's gonna come with chariots of fire, you know, these so-called UFOs, spaceships, and he's gonna save his people, and his people are gonna have spiritual powers and superpowers, you know. That's that strange work. That's salvation that is going to come in the end of this time, of this age. You see? So a lot of people, especially the 2/3, especially the ones that follow Vocab Malone, Christianity, they're not going to believe. Even though they might be of the stock of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they won't believe the marvelous work that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to do. You see? Real quick side note, one of my favorite scriptures, Jeremiah 16 and 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, said Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them. See, scattered among the heathen, around the four corners of the earth. That's why this word should be preached among all nations. Doesn't matter what they look like, because he might be an Israelite. And I will bring them again into that land, which is Israel, that I gave unto their fathers. That's that land of Canaan, that promised land. And that's the promise that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai made with Abraham. Gone. So let's go to Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36, verse 23 and 24. And I will sanctify my great name, which was you see? So it's for his namesake that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is doing this. It's not because we are so great, because we are so righteous. No, because of his name, he swore upon himself and upon his name that he would do these things. He swore it to Abraham, you know, so for his name's sake, because nothing that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai says shall go out of his mouth void, you know. So, like it says, Ezekiel 36, verse 28, and I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen. That's why he's going to do these great works in the sight of the heathen, just like how he did it in the time of Egypt. You know, in the sight of the Egyptians, he caused the Israelites to escape right in front of their faces, the Egyptians. You know, they couldn't do nothing. There was a chariot protecting them in the front and in the back, you know, which ye have profaned in the midst of them, like it was said in the book of Deuteronomy, you know, we would go and worship wood and stone, which are these idols. So we profaned the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord, said Yahweh Shem Yahushai, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. You see? So that's what the Most High wants. He's going to do it for his namesake, and he's going to show these other nations that he is dealing with the Israelites, that he is dealing with us, Yahweh Tazah. You know? Verse 24, for I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. See? Which is the land of Israel. Ezekiel 37, verse 21. Ezekiel 37, verse 21, and say unto them, thus said Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. So how many more times do you have to hear this, that we are scattered among the heathen? You know, we might look like these other nations. So that's why we have to go and do this work and compel people to come to this truth. And as it says in Romans 8, you know, some people might look like heathen, but we got to read their spirit. You know, the spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. So if he fights against the image of Yahushai, if he or she fights against what we stand for, if he or she fights against what we proclaim through the Bible, then you can already know that it's of these other nations. That's one of the other nations, because none of the wicked shall understand, like it says in the scriptures. You see? So this book is only for the Israelites that are scattered among the heathen also. You see? Because we ourselves here in Holland, we are scattered among the heathen, because this is not our land. We have been placed here, we have been shipped here, or we chose to come over here to make a living, to study, to do something, you know. But then Yahweh Shem Yahushai, he took us and he formed us and groomed us to become his prophets, you know, because a man devised his steps, but the Most High directed his steps, you know, roughly paraphrasing. So you might think that you're coming here to do a job or study or you know, to make big money, but Yahweh Bashem Yahushai had other plans for you, you know. So that was a quick session that I want to go through, and Yahweh Tazah, that this video has been edifying, and I want to say Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Reka Kodash. Shalom Akim.